Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So a lot of you guys were messaging me about Infinity Gems inside Thor Ragnarok. There are a couple Easter eggs, so I'm going to explain what's going on. If you're new to the channel, I do Marvel and DC every week. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. There's going to be so much crazy stuff happening in the next couple months. But there were two really big things that people were freaking out about when the trailer dropped. And one was when Hela is first taking over Asgard, or it seems like she's first taking over Asgard. The timeline's a little fuzzy, but this giant blast wave washes over it, and it's almost like it's instantaneously being converted into a version of Hell, like you see Thor being dropped down in here. This looks like the domain that she normally controls. It looks very similar to what happened when we saw Aeson the Searcher use the power gem to completely destroy a civilization in that Guardians of the Galaxy sequence.
Observe. These carriers can use the stone to mow down entire civilizations like wheat in a field.
There's a little pea coming out of me right now.
And the other big Easter egg is actually a Guardians of the Galaxy thing too. I know everybody's wondering if this film's going to link up with that because they're the two big space-based Marvel franchises. Well, we need to find the Soul Gem, but wherever it starts, it seems like Hela is using power on a scale that goes way beyond the Odin Force here. Like, the Odin Force makes Odin one of the most powerful beings in the universe, but we actually haven't seen that on screen, so it's hard to judge the scale of MCU Odin Force versus the comics. But Asgard is a tough place. They have hardcore technology, so anything that would be able to lay waste to it instantaneously like this would have to have powers on the level of the Infinity Gem. And the funny thing is, big coincidence, Marvel posted a Soul Gem explainer within a day of posting the Thor trailer. So there's just a lot of things in the background pointing towards the use and the presence of a Soul Gem. That doesn't say where it starts out. The other big coincidence is that a lot of her comic book powers, the ability to cull Asgardian souls, reads a lot like what the Soul Gem's powers are. The Soul Gem gives you power over souls. So like when you see Heimdall fighting this soldier here, it looks like he's been either turned, like he might be an Asgardian that's turned into one of Hela's minions, or it's somebody that she's pulled from Hell itself. But like you see all these beings here, these fire-looking beings screaming as Thor's being dropped down. So there's a big question as to what she does with the souls that she culls. Either she turns them into soldiers like this, or maybe she turns them into mindless beings. They did that a little bit during the Doctor Strange movie, so careful for spoilers for the end of Doctor Strange. So at the end of the movie, all the villains get sucked into the Dark Dimension by Dormammu as he withdraws to his own territory, but they get turned into mindless ones. They're these beings with this big eye in the center of their face, these amorphous beings. They're really dangerous, but they were normal people to begin with. So Dormammu is turning them into his mindless ones. Hela might have a version of that too. Because, you know, in the real world, there's this funny thing going on in PG-13 movies where all the villains are these mindless drones. They're kind of doing it in the Justice League trailer too with the parademons. Like, you don't see people's faces. They're just like sort of mindless CG creatures. Just another weird coincidence, but a lot of Hollywood writers think that that's just so that it allows the younger audience to enjoy the heroes beating the crap or killing people without feeling super guilty about it, because it doesn't seem like actual people that the heroes are killing. So I know that sounds like a weird thing, but it's a PG-13 movie phenomenon. Hopefully it'll go away soon. The other big Infinity Gem Easter egg is the Collector, so this one is a bit more of a deep cut. In the background of this shot on Sakaar, it almost looks like the Collector's fortress is sitting here. Now, if you haven't seen it at Disneyland, there's a new Guardians of the Galaxy ride that's called the Collector's Fortress that looks exactly like this in the concept art. So the Collector might have a big tie to Sakaar because he's one of the other Elders of the Universe, just like the Grand Master, Jeff Goldblum's character. The Collector still has the Reality Gem in his possession. He lost the Soul Gem, that's with the Nova Corps right now as of the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but he still has the Infinity Gem that was given to him by the Warriors 3 at the end of Thor the Dark World.
1 down. 5 to go.
And even though it's sort of tongue-in-cheek, they sort of told you last summer at Comic-Con what's been on Thor's brain this whole time while he's been hanging out with Daryl. It was mostly meant to be a wink at why Thor and Hulk weren't part of Civil War, but it also told you some of the things that Thor was doing, how precious Mjolnir is to him, which is why it's such a big deal when it gets destroyed in the trailer here, and the idea that he has come up with no new information on what's going on with Thanos. He just knows that he's a purple man that likes sitting down. He has a bejeweled glove.
It's almost ready. Delicious. Question, what are Infinity Stones? Whole lot of information and ideas and what I like to call little clues speckled around the place. And who is the man in the purple chair? He's purple. It's a magic glove. Doesn't like standing up.
So it seems like a lot of that information they're going to be giving to him through some of these other characters like the Grand Master, Hela, Loki, all the other characters that have had interactions with Thanos or interactions with Infinity Gems themselves. There just aren't a whole lot of characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that already have information on the Infinity Gems. You either have ancient knowledge like Odin, the Collector, the other Elders of the Universe, or you're allied with the ultimate evil, Thanos, who's been pulling strings from behind the scenes this whole time.
Are relics that predate the universe itself. What lies within her appears to be one of them. The 9 realms are not eternal. They had a dawn as they will have a dusk.
Oh, my new friends. Before creation itself, there were 6 singularities. Then the universe exploded into existence, and the remnants of these systems were forged into concentrated ingots. Infinity Stone.
The interesting thing that they haven't really associated with each other yet is the Elders of the Universe with Thanos. They've separately been searching for the gems. So there's this big confluence of cosmic characters, cosmic ideas, and cosmic level power all happening in this same movie. So there are just a lot of Infinity Gem things happening in Thor Ragnarok. But let me know if you guys spotted some of these, and how do you think that Hela gets her hands on an Infinity Gem? Where does it start? So what's going to happen next is I have another Star Wars The Last Jedi video that I'll do. There's more Easter eggs from the trailer. Yes, there's Yoda. Yes, Obi-Wan. Yes, Palpatine voice. Yes, Journal of the Will. So I'll explain all that stuff when I post that video tomorrow morning. So even though there is a whole lot of new Star Wars posting this weekend, I will try to get other Marvel, DC, Doctor Who stuff out. So I'll post more updates as I roll new videos out. But congratulations to Blade Wilson. You're the latest giveaway winner. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. And there'll be a new round of the giveaway when I post my next Marvel video. But there's also Star Wars giveaway stuff happening in those videos. You can click here to re-watch the Star Wars trailer a billion more times, and click here for the Last Jedi panel. Thank you so much for watching. Let's high five. I'll see you guys in the next video.